throat adjustment.
असङ्गोऽहं पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्यशुद्धविमुक्तोऽहम् निराकारोऽहमव्ययः भूमानन्दस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्योऽहं निरवद्योऽहम् निराकारोऽहमच्युतः परमानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः शुद्धचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् आत्मा रामोऽहमेव च अखण्डानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रत्यक्षचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् शान्तोऽहं प्रकृतेः परः शाश्वतानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तत्त्वातीतपरात्माहम् मध्यातीतः परशिवः मायातीतपरञ्ज्योतिः अहमेवाहमव्ययः नानारूपव्यतीतोऽहम् चिदाकारोऽहमच्युतः सुखरूपस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः मायातत्कार्यदेहादि मम नास्त्येव सर्वदा स्वप्रकाशैकरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः गुणत्रयव्यतीतोऽहम् ब्रह्मादीनां च साक्ष्यहम् अनन्तानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः अनन्तज्योतिस्वरूपोऽहम् कूटस्थः सर्वगोऽस्म्यहम् सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः द्वन्द्वादिसाक्षिरूपोऽहम् अचलोऽहं सनातनः सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रज्ञानघन एवाहम् विज्ञानघन एव च अकर्ताहम् अभोक्ताहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः निराधारस्वरूपोऽहम् सर्वाधारोऽहमेव च आप्तकामस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तापत्रयविनिर्मुक्तः देहत्रयविलक्षणः अवस्थात्रयसाक्ष्यस्मि अहमेवाहमव्ययः दृग्दृश्यौ द्वौ पदार्थौ स्तः परस्परविलक्षणौ दृग्ब्रह्मदृश्यं मायेति सर्ववेदान्तडिण्डिमः अहं साक्षीति यो विद्यात् विविच्यैवं पुनः पुनः स एव मुक्तः स विद्वान् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्छास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम् ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम्।
Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryankara vavahai tejasvina vadhitamastu ma vedvishavahai om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, the Omnipresent, to such a Supreme, Merciful, Almighty, who also has the divine name as Jeeva, to such a Lord, we offer our humble salutations. With Prapatti, Shraddha and Bhakti. O Lord, we seek your grace, your mercy, your love, your compassion, your strength, your benevolence, your forgiveness. Please bless us with the divine qualities such as Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti and Mumukshutva in a mature, enhanced manner. This is only and only to understand thy true self. In this very life and as one's own personal experience. We beseech in you again and again to grant us this rarest of the rare opportunity so that we all can live a life at peace, contentment, and ever established in thy true self. Our salutations to the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Today, by the grace of the Almighty and the immense blessings of the Guru Parampara, today we are on our Divine Discourse number 457 and the Aparoksha Anubhuti series number 44. On this closure day of 2025, the 31st December 2025. Swasti Shri Vishwavasunama Samvatsara Dakshinayana Hemantarutu Pushyamasa Shukla Paksha Saumya Vasare Dwadashatito Kritika Nakshatra Sadhyanama Yoge Balavakarane. On this auspicious day of Wednesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all reaffirm and recommit ourselves to that one fundamental basic thought which we all should be established throughout our life. Naham karta hari karta, hari preranaya, hari prityartha. This one phrase can take you from the start to the finish. Be established in this all along. We pray to the Almighty to give us that thought. Since we know that thoughts do not come as per our wish and understanding, they are all projected by the Prakriti through Maya, ordained by the Ishvara, under the guidance of or powered by Brahman, the Supreme Reality. So knowing this very well, we again and again beseech in your self, O Lord, help us to be established in this thought. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara once again. Om Tat Sat. Good evening to all of you once again. See, we all have a mind and an intellect. Now, unless and until this mind and intellect are convinced, we will not be able to cross over or reach wherever we want. It cannot happen. So, by God's grace, I have always been very curious and inquisitive to understand what's the connection between what the scriptures are saying and what is in reality. Reality in illusion. We should know that. Reality is illusion, but reality from the point of view of science. That is reality. What science talks is reality, isn't it? So we have to connect these two. Then what happens is this mind will very comfortably accept what is there, and that can take us on this path in a much more easier manner. So today we are going to learn one of those fundamentals. Now, why this came was Bhagavan Shankaracharya has been promoting these 15 principles, where if you all have understood by now, what is he finally pointing out to in every principle is about Brahman. Is there anything else other than that? As you have seen, like as we tell people, see, you talk so many things, but घूम फिर के आप वापस उधर ही आते हो. You go around the bush and finally you come to the same point. Tell me something else. We tell somebody who is boring. So now here the entire Vedanta is saying the same thing again and again in different ways, and coming on to that one truth, reality. So that is what we need to understand and get straight to our mind. So now we have done 5 overall. Out of the 15 we have done 5. Verse number 111 is the 6th one, Kala, which we are going to see today. First one, Yama, Niyama. Then the third is Tyaga, Mauna and Desha. So Tyaga, Mauna, Desha, these 3 out of the 5 we have done are additions by Bhagavan Shankaracharya. And Yama and Niyama are the first 2 principles by Ashtanga Yoga. So now, after the 6th one, Kala, which we are going to learn, 111th verse, 7th one is again the 3rd principle of Ashtanga Yoga. So which means in between 3, 4, 5, 6, that is Tyaga, Mauna, Desha, Kala, all these 3 are an addition by Bhagavan Shankaracharya. Okay, just for a reckoning for what you have to understand. Okay. Now, what is that which I wanted to connect? Now, this is extremely important. Why? You will understand what science is saying and what the scriptures are saying. There is no great difference. Science is clearly pointing out to what the scriptures are saying. What is that? Aham Brahmasmi. You mean to say science is saying Aham Brahmasmi? Yes. And now that's what we're going to talk today. I'll tell you 3 different scientists who spoke of 3 different theories. And this is coming from the last 80-90 years. Okay, somewhere they started in 1930, 40s, something like that. And one after the other, they have been trying to explain to us about these theories. Now, what does it say? It says that MacLean, he is one of the first scientists who spoke about this. An interest in the brain requires no justification other than curiosity. See, very simple meaning. Any interest in the brain, it doesn't need any justification, but it needs curiosity. To know where we are, why we are here, now we are talking of the divine. Now that curiosity which is there in us, why we are here, what we are doing here, and where we are going from here. You know, this is the question which we all have been asking. So now he says, this invites us to explore the brain not just in the biological sense, but as a mirror to the entire cosmos. See, already he's bringing that subtle aspect over here. He's saying what brain you have is not just a brain. And now what will happen the moment you come with this curiosity? See, in all the preface to the lectures we are listening on a daily basis, I have been again and again talking about that yearning. What did Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa say? One of his students, when he asked him, what should I do to realize God? I am doing so many things, but still I am not progressing. What should I do? Then Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was quiet. He didn't say anything at that time. Next day morning, when they went to the river Ganga to bathe, the Shishya was bathing next to him. And as the Shishya took a dip in the water, he immediately put his hand on his head, and he didn't allow him to come out. Now 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, that Shishya inside the water is struggling hard. But Sri Paramahamsa, he held him strong to keep him under the water. And at one point he released his hand. And you should see that student came up with with a yearning for taking a deep breath. Now, he looks at Paramahamsa and says, Thakurji, what is this? What is that you did to me? He says, I gave an answer to your question yesterday. You asked me what should I do to gain that self-realization. Just what you did now to gain that one gasp of breath. How much you struggled. That same yearning has to be there in you to realize God. See, we have heard this many times, but it's worth listening again and again. So, what I'm connecting over here is, there he used the word yearning. Yearning meaning that strong push, zeal to achieve self-realization. Here science is talking about curiosity. That's all. These are the exact words of the scientist, the neuroscientist. He says, other than curiosity, the brain does not require any justification. So now, how does this work? Let's say now. So he slowly comes and he says, for your understanding, you must know that the brain has developed over eons. It's not that what brain we had in the common sense, what brain was there about 10,000 years, 1 lakh years, or 1 million years earlier. That brain and today's brain, there is a lot of change in terms of the software and the hardware. And he calls this as the triune brain theory. Okay, Paul D. McClellan. Now what he says? He says that human brain is not one single entity as you're thinking. There are 3 layers. That's the reason it's known as triune. Now what is that? First one, he says, we have the reptilian brain. Initially, when we all, as humans, we had one major aspect of the brain, which is the reptilian brain. Now this is the oldest part of a human brain. Now what is this? It was shared on the same lines of what creatures like lizards and all these kind of animals had. So he said that kind of a brain we had, which was what? Nothing but a seat of all raw instincts. What was that? You wanted to survive. You wanted to have, you had hunger. Then there was a fight. If anything is coming to attack you, fight. If you feel you're weak, then run. So these were, and along with this sex. No, this is how your reproduction, what we call. Now this is how you have been created. So that was the primary aspect of the brain. Okay. Now he says, if anybody who was in this segment, but even if now in today's world, he says if they are always dominating, meaning or thinking on this part of the brain, then they will live like bees, always trapped in fear and some kind of a desire, and that will be their life. Okay. Now he says there is a second thing now, built, which is just built above the reptilian base brain. He says now this layer, it emerged from the mammals. See how evolution is happening. It came from the mammals. Now what does it have? It has those emotions. It carries memories. And it also carries thoughts of social connections, which are basically love, fear, bonding, helping, compassion, all these kind of thoughts. Now where you see that there are loyalties which are there, and then there are some, whenever there are fights, you want to get over those fights and mend those fights. Now this is known as the limbic brain, which is purely on emotions. So the first one, which is about the reptilian brain, second one is about the limbic brain. Now again over centuries, he says that the third part of the brain which came in, which was known as the Tower of Wisdom, neocortex. This has recently come into our brain and it is slowly developing. One generation to the other, one generation to the other. That's the reason you are seeing that the current generation, you say, my God, they are so sharp. isn't it? Compared to the previous, and compared to the previous, isn't? So that kind of a neocortex, the tower of wisdom, now that is ballooning in the humans. Now this is also known as the crown jewel of the brain. What does it take care? It takes care of your reasoning, logic, comparing, understanding, planning, language, all abstract thoughts. Now what we're talking of Brahman is an abstract thought. Now this is the brain. Now where all these inventions came from these particular part of the brain. Now our question is, okay, fine, you told me about the brain, fine. But how does this reveal that you are God? That is our question. So he says, an interest in the brain requires no justification other than the curiosity to know why we are here, what we are doing here, and where we are going from here. Just like Newton, he had the curiosity. Why did the apple fall from the tree? Why did it not stay in between? Or why did it not go up? Why it had to fall? That's when the gravitational aspect came into being invented. So in the same way, we have to have that in our brain. So this twin brain reflects, in a way, three things, Like if you go by Christianity, what you call Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. If you see always Father, Son, Holy Spirit, what do we say? Three things: Sat Chit Ananda. Or we say Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Now these are the three aspects of the brain, if you can see. So we have mastered this. The idea is that by mastering these layers, you have to transcend from the reptilian, that ego, fear, desire. What is there? See, it shows. Move on to the next. Come to the harmonizing limbic passions. And then crossing that, all those emotional aspects of the limbic brain slowly get established, most of the time be in the neocortical brain. Then you have a chance to uncover your true nature. See, where your question is constantly happening. Otherwise you'll be stuck in these two other brain, part of the brain. So what this says is, see, just like you have the koshas, Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. You have all these koshas. And finally you are able to see that Lord. So in the same way, come from that reptilian brain to the limbic brain, and from the limbic brain to the neocortex brain. So here what the scientist is saying is, you are not becoming God. You are God. Only thing is, you are veiled by these evolutionary layers. That's all. How do you see this happening in you? Just that curiosity. Develop that curiosity and live with that curiosity in the prefrontal cortex. Don't be carried away by the limbic brain, which will always take you into emotions. Don't be carried away by the reptilian brain, which will always be taking you into the basic root aspects of hunger, thirst, reproduction, fear. No. Come out of that and keep your curiosity on the prefrontal cortex and ask your questions. Take one question. Why are we here? What is my true nature? That is what we are asking, right? So he says this way. And then a comparison, if you want to give, from the Chandogya Upanishad. What happens? A curious doll, they give an example of a salt doll. It dives into the sea to know what its true essence is, and only to dissolve and finally say that I have become the ocean. Tattvamasi. Similarly, you put in your brain that triune depths, dissolve that separatedness, and then you will see that divine reality coming within your self itself. Okay, this is the first one. Now the second one. The second one is talking about neurotheology. They call it as the God helmet tail. Now this is pioneered by these researchers like Andrew Newberg and Michael Persinger. Now what it says is, this field studies how the brain wires for spiritual experiences. See, this is the next level. So as you move on, scientists also have got so many tools, they get so many data from different aspects of study on the brain. So they said, with this curiosity, how your brain gets wired for those spiritual experiences. Now this Persinger who talks about this God helmet, that's what he's saying, he uses a helmet, magnetic fields to stimulate the temporal lobes inside, including vision of that divine presence. When we say Aparoksha Anubhuti, that divine presence, what you are getting is not from outside. It is your own brain has created a magnetic field. Just like you can talk as a modern rishi, a sage, a sadhu, a monk who is meditating in a cave, and he at some point says, I felt like that God experience in the room. So what it means is, metaphorically, he says that your brain is like a radio. Just like you switch on a radio to a particular station, what happens? You are able to grasp whatever is being aired from that particular station. In the same way, he says, this particular brain of yours, when tuned and with all the neurological settings which are happening, you are ready to get that cosmic broadcast. So in Vedanta, where it is, now Maya has veiled Brahman. Now your radio is not tuned, it's going haphazard, it doesn't know the right station, the frequency. But with practices like dhyana and that deep meditation, what happens is you are tuning your brain. So just like the lower brain layers to hear the inner Om, because you are reflecting the cosmic. This is what scientists are talking. That's neurotheology. It's saying that spiritual highs are brain-based, yet hinting the brain is a portal of the divine self. So we don't have to, nothing should come from outside. You have to tune your brain. And he says it happens in the brain, provided you have that curiosity. See how well science is telling us that what is your structure of the brain, your mind, your intellect so-called, and what you should do, what all can happen. Now the third thing, which is the quantum observer's effect. So this is like the dream weaver's yarn, So he says in quantum physics, if you observe one particle, you can know the state of the other, one or many. He says the moment you observe, then suddenly you can come to know what is happening. So this has, like great thinkers like Amit Goswami, they say that consciousness, that is, you are made of that consciousness that created the universe. So you as that God, you are as the observer. Just like a dreamer is now shaping their dream. In a dream, you are creating your own world. Unaware at the time of the dream that you are the creator and the creation of the dream. So this actually in Vedanta it says that non-dual reality, where there is a perceiver and the perceived. Perceiver is the one who is projecting the dream from his mind, and the perceived is that entire creation of that dream. They both are one. So now, similar to that MacLean's theory, this quantum views the brain as that interface. Interface is that in-between thing which is there, where infinite possibilities, it becomes you. Now there's one more theory, panpsychism. See, so many things are promoting this, so we have to gain that confidence. Will it happen? Will it happen? Yes, when it has happened to my guru, why will it not happen to me? If I am practicing what all he is practicing, then it should also happen to me. So now looking at these scientific aspects, what is this panpsychism? He says the whispering universal fable, he says, like philosophers like David Chalmers. What they're saying is consciousness permeates all matter, right from atoms to your brains. The triune brain, what he's saying is like, as the Vedanta is saying, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. He's saying this concept says, your brain's curiosity isn't random. Don't think that you got this to understand universe. Where have I come from? Where am I going to go? What is the reason for me coming here? All you being drawn towards spirituality. No, it's not yours. It is the universe knowing itself through you. When you go by the concept of everything is Brahman, so then you should not say that, oh, I am fortunate enough. Many times we have mentioned, that's just for the sake of mentioning that we are fortunate enough that we have got this Ishvara Krupa, we have got Shastra, we have got a Guru, and we are learning all these beautiful things, spiritual things in our life, which is enriching our life. No, he says it is the universe itself knowing itself through this instrument of yours. So this is not just science, this Machiavellian's theory, it's a bridge to self-realization. As clear as this. All these theories, listen to it once again. And there is no doubt. Only thing is that yearning, that curiosity has to be there in you. You cannot just see, like as you went and saw a movie. Now so many movies are there which we have seen, and now after some time you ask us, we vaguely remember what was there. Did we ever put in effort to see it? Because we casually saw it. By the way, we said, by the way we saw whatever pleasure, thrill, anguish, whatever it gave, emotion, feeling, it gave. We came out, we forgot. We don't even know the name of the movie. And story here and there we remember a bit. Now this cannot be done that way. Constant yearning for that Lord, he says, that sets your rewiring. Rewiring in the sense, it makes that, it is tuning the frequency. And one day, when you are tuning the frequency, let's say 98.3, you are there exactly at 98.3, and boom, you will get the station what you are looking for. So that spiritual station. Now your brain has to be aligned. And he says this brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, it is at the uppermost layer. So for that you need to cross over the other two brains, the reptilian brain and the limbic brain. In the same way, now if you connect it to the chakras, like the limbic, reptilian is what? The Mooladhara. Then you have the Swadhisthana, those, and the Manipura. Those three are reptilian brains. And then you come to the Anahata chakra, the heart, and Vishuddhi. These are nothing but the limbic, which are related to your heart, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, all feelings of kindness, compassion, all kinds of. And then you cross these two, you come to the prefrontal cortex, which is the Agnya chakra. This is that correlation which you can make. So once you come and stay in that Agnya chakra, crossing those five chakras, and then you will be lifted through the Sahasranama chakra. So that's what we have to understand over here. And so that makes our journey much more easier. So the requirement here is that curiosity. I want to get it. I want to get it. So who succeeds in life? A very common thing. You want to say, okay, I want to shed weight. I want to become slim, trim, energetic, with lot of stamina and strength. Yes, it will happen to the one who has got that zeal. Otherwise, it's just like that New Year resolution. There was a beautiful gym in one locality, and one guy, he goes on the first morning and he sees that there is no parking place. Full. Then he asked that watchman, "Arey, what is this? I paid so much hefty fee to get a membership here, and I come here and if there is no parking and you don't have even valet parking, then how do I go to the gym?" He said, "साहब 3 दिन रुको ना, just wait for 3 days. बाद में आपको जितना चाहिए उतना जगह मिलेगा इधर. How much ever space you want, after 3 days you will get to park." Meaning he also knows from several years, all this is that push on that first day. And slowly second day, third day, everything diffuses because that curiosity is not there. So in the same way, we should enrich our curiosity day by day, week on week, month on month, how we were earlier and how we are now. That has to be a constant reading which we have to make a note. Okay? So now we move on to verse number 111. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. Now 111 talks about Kalanat Sarvabhutanam Brahmadinam Nimeshataha Kala Shabdena Nirdishtaha Hyakandananda Kadvayaha. What does this say now? Kala. See, we all know what Kala means. Time. So, what is that? Let's understand the straight meaning of time. Okay. Now, when you say time, which means first thing which comes to our mind is, I understood. It is that about, you have to do at the Brahma Muhurat time, where we all call it as very auspicious time. Get up early in the morning, 4:30, 5:30 types, and then when you meditate on these scriptural texts, do Nama Japa, Dhyana, that is that Kala, that time. And why they say it is auspicious? It's just like, if you have to give an example, in any place you have, say, you have Wi-Fi, right? Now, like say, hotel. Now, when during busy hours, what happens is everybody is using the Wi-Fi, so naturally your speed comes down. But now, these Brahma Muhurat times, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, hardly anybody is awake. And you will be able to get full power in terms of your speed as far as the Wi-Fi is concerned. Second comparison you can make is in terms of traffic. Early morning, nobody is there on the road. That road of 5 kilometers, which used to normally take you into the rate of 6 or 7 or 8, which is if it is 8 into 5, 40 minutes. Now during that time you will reach within 10 minutes max, or even less also. Why is that? Because there is nobody. So in the same way, now here we are talking of this is a good time. Don't we say that? So it's about, not exactly about time. Just like we have Brahma Muhurat, they say for Kashi, the right time where vibes, the cosmic vibes are to the maximum is from 3 to 4 a.m. in the morning. And then in Vrindavan they say it is midnight. And Puri Jagannath they say it is 2 in the afternoon. These are by traditionally. And say like Bhuvaneshwar and Belur Math, that part is 4 a.m. in the morning. But in general, as we all talk of Brahma Muhurat, right? So that is again time. Now there is one more known as Sandhya Kal. Sandhya Kal is union, where the morning, the night, say in the early morning, night transforms into day. That is one Sandhya. And in the afternoon, it transforms from the morning towards evening. That is again a Sandhya. And the third Sandhya is the evening transforms into night. So likewise, this is also again we talk as time. So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he gives it a completely different version. Now what is that? He says, how did that Parabrahman get the name as Kala? He says he got the name Kala because he is the one who is the responsible for the time. Now this is something very deep. Now Kala comes from the word root Kal, which means to create. So who created this universe? That Parabrahman, who is also known as Kalanath. So time is called Kala because in time all beings are created. Brahma is Kala because he created every being on this planet, in this universe, cosmos, whatever you are saying. So that supreme reality from which all beings, including the highest of all beings, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, all these have come, that is known as Kala, Kalanath. Now, here what is trying to say, Nimishet Kalanath, meaning Kalanath Sarva Bhutanam Brahmadinam Nimeshat. Nimeshat means at the flip of your finger. He created this entire universe. Kalanath, on account of producing Sarva Bhutanam, all beings, Brahmadinam, right from Brahma to the blade of grass. It was all done in a jiffy. Kalanath. So, Kala Shabdena, just by the term Kala, he says, Nirdishtaha. Nirdishtaha means in a confirmed manner, Akhandanandaka Advayaha. Know that there is one undivisible, non-dual truth. See, now he's taking us to that. See, normally the direct meaning will not give you a meaning per se. It will, later on when all that is decoded, then you will be able to relate to the meaning which is given as a direct meaning. So what we understood so far is, Kala is not that Brahma Muhurat, nor that Sandhya time, nor those auspicious times, different times prevailing in different regions. It is not that. It is that Kalanath, that one who is that principle who is enveloping the entire world. Just a little sidetracking. Once Lord Krishna in Dwarka, he summoned Lord Brahma. He says, come, I want to have a meeting with you. Come. So Krishna's secretary told Brahma's secretary, Brahma's secretary told Brahma. Brahma came for the meeting at the fixed time and venue. And there is a reception, and at that reception lounge, Brahma is seated over there. The secretary tells him he's busy in a meeting. Please wait. We'll let you know as soon as his meeting is over. Now Brahma waited. 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. Now he's saying, what is this? I am Brahma, the creator of this universe here. And he says, I am made to sit here and wait not for 5-10 minutes, for hours. So Lord Krishna could sense his ego, that I am the creator. What is he creator? He's given a job, that's all. But he is not the creator. That Paramatma is the creator. So where we term Lord Krishna as that Paramatma here. So then Brahma was in that furious egoistic mood, and then he sees from the meeting, meaning that room or that hall, whatever you call it, another Brahma is coming. Oh, he says, my God, somebody like me? He looks at him and he says, I have 4 heads. This Brahma has got 6 heads. Oh. And then he asked the secretary, now can I go in? No, there are still several more others in the meeting room, so please wait. Then after a few minutes, then another Brahma came with 10 heads. Then after a few minutes, another Brahma came with 20 heads. And then another Brahma with 100 heads. And another with 1,000 heads. Then imagine the power of that Paramatma who has created so many Brahmas. So with that one 4-headed Brahma, till today we are not able to understand what is the size of the universe. Imagine the Brahmas with those 6 heads and 10 and 20, 50, 100, 1,000. What power they have and what creation they must have made. So this story is basically to know that Supreme Lord, which we all are meditating upon, that Ekam Advitiya Brahma, Paramatma, what we are talking, is of that nature and power. And that power is also known as Kalanath. So, this entire creation is in that Kala. Meaning, Brahman is not in the Kala, but this Kala is in that Brahman. Now, how do I apply this for my sadhana? That's my interest. I don't want to know anything else. So, I'll tell you in my simple words. We say, all the time during the day, during all our lives, we say, what time should I come? When is this happening? And how much time it will take? I think it's a bad time for me now. Or now it's a good time for me. Not so good time. Now all this time, every time we talk, we are only talking about time, isn't it? Now the punchline is, know that all this time we are talking about is nothing but Brahman. Because time is in Brahman, just like space is in Brahman. Desha, Kala, Vastu, these 3 things, all these are situated in Brahman. So see how much leverage we are getting. If you are talking of an object, that is Brahman. Because just now what we saw, right from the atoms to the brain, everything is that Brahman alone. So in the same way, Vastu, Desha, anywhere you look at, space. How to understand space? Now say you have a jug, and in the jug it's empty, there is no water, it's empty. Now you say, yeah, this jug is empty, so which means there is space in that jug. But now if I put water, what do you say? There is water. That doesn't mean that the space is gone. Because there is space, there is water in that space. So in the same way, we are only confined to seeing the water, but we don't understand that the water is there because there is space. So while there is water, there was space, and when there was no water, there is space. In the same way, whatever you see around is all enveloped by that Brahman, that power of Brahman. So see, when you see something, object, you get to know there is Brahman. At any point of time in your life, every time you are talking about is nothing but that Brahman alone. So, Desha, wherever, Kala, whatever time, and Vastu, in anything, Desha, Kala, Vastu, you have to generate that power of seeing that reality. Any time you think of time, know that time you are thinking or talking is all nothing but Brahman, in simple words. So such a nice point, to keep us established. Why is this? We need to do this is because that curiosity has to be there. The more you show that curiosity, you will get it. So now if there is, you must have seen in a radio, maybe a 6-inch screen is there. You are tuning. Okay, it starts from the left. You are tuning, and somewhere you see after the middle, your station which was required, you strike at the station. Now if you are tuning continuously, then only when you will reach a point where you will get tuned to the station. But if you are tuning and then you say, no, you do some other job, and then again you come and you tune a little, then again you go somewhere else. When will you reach that point which has to be reached? So in the same way, we have to continuously tune. And these are the tools which are coming to our advantage over here. So in this way, now what Bhagavan Shankaracharya is trying to tell us is, in Kala, it's not that Brahman is there, but in Brahman, Kala is present. So know that every time or every Kala is nothing but Brahman. So this is what we need to understand from this particular shloka. Now we move on to the next one, which is, after Kala comes Asana. Asana is the third as per the Ashtanga Yoga. Now let's take this. सुखेनैव भवेत्यस्मिन् अजस्त्रं ब्रह्मचिन्तनम् आसनं तत् विजानीयात् न इतरत् सुखनाशनम्. सुखेनैव भवेत् तस्मिन् अजस्त्रं ब्रह्मचिन्तनम् आसनं तद्विजानीयात् naitarat sukhanashanam. So what does it say? That should be understood as the right posture, which means within brackets asana, in which meditation upon Brahman will flow spontaneously with that unbroken, effortless ease. Asana is not any of the postures which destroy one's comfort. Okay, this is the meaning, which is a straight meaning. Now, how do I understand this? Basically, go to any yoga teacher and you say, I want to do asana. What is that? Sukhasana. For what? See, because I am interested in doing meditation. And for meditation, I want to have that Sukhasana. So Sthiram Sukham Asanam. Sthiram means it has to be stable. And Sukham means it has also to be doable. It should be pleasant. It should not be like you are holding your body tight. No. So when you are continuously, effortlessly able to meditate upon that highest reality, that is Brahman, which is that Chintanam, so that is Asanam. Now, what is the first meaning? Let's understand that. So that established seat of that whole meaning, that Satchidananda, which is not created. It doesn't mean that that is created now. It has been there. Satchidananda has been there before the creation, during the creation, after the creation also. Now he says, establish in that Satchidananda. It's not about your sitting posture. You are sitting either in Vajrasan or in Sukhasan or in Padmasan. Whatever asana you are sitting, that is not the point. Your point should be that, am I seated in that reality. That is what here Bhagavan Shankaracharya is talking. So, first aspect is a posture which makes you presently think of the God. No other physical distractions. Okay. Now this comes from the commentary written by Vidyaranya, this sage. Vidyaranya sage comes from about 1500 years ago, which is from the Hampi region. Luckily I stay very close to that place. My native is just about 18 kilometers as the crow flies, and I had a chance to go. I came to know of that particular ashram, which is right at the back of the Pampapati temple over there. It's within the same compound. You have to go from the back door of the temple, you arrive in that ashram over there, Vidyaranya. Now, I got the chance to seek darshan and blessings of the 36th Vidyaranya he is now. Okay. So this must have been written, Aparoksha Anubhuti was written during Shankaracharya's time. And now a commentary written by this great Vidyaranya was about 600 years ago. Okay. Now, what he says, see, everybody gives a different version. Now we have to take what suits us. Sukhena iva. He says, now if you split that, he says, Sukhena eva means in this way, pleasantly, if you think about God, that is the asana. Without any worries, without any tensions, not sitting without any worries, without any postural difficulty, that is not the right asana. We say, I am sitting in a comfortable asana because it is very easy for me. That is the reason we call it a sukhasana, where you're cross-legged you're sitting, very comfortable. Padmasana is difficult. Vajrasana is also difficult. But now, Siddhasana is not about your bodily posture, whether you're sitting comfortably, no. Whether you're able to think of that God in a pleasant manner. Okay, this is the first level he writes. Swami Vidyaranya. Now he takes up to the next level. He says, Sukhena eva yasmin sukharupe brahmani chintanam naiva bhavet. What does this mean? He says, now after sitting in that thought about that Brahman in a pleasant manner, now I see that those thoughts are creating bliss in my mind. And in that state of bliss, there are no other thoughts which are disturbing me. So that particular word, that pleasantly in this way you can think about God. That is the preliminary yogic meaning. But the deeper meaning, he says, I get established in that bliss, and in that bliss which thoughts do not intrude, sukhe na iva, I am not disturbed by any other thoughts. You're getting this point? Where other thoughts do not even dare to intrude. See now, how is our mind intruded? Because you're thinking about something which some other thought comes and says, Arey, what are you talking about this joy? I am able to give you a better joy. You're talking of that hotel, right? Where restaurant we very wanted to go and eat. Arey, now there is a much better restaurant which has come. And that thought comes. Now what happened? You shifted from that thought to this thought. Then again it said, what are you all the time thinking of eating? Let's go to this movie. And this program is there after that. We have well charted now. Now see, from that thought you jump to another thought. Where is this all happening? It's all happening in your mind, which is related to your sense organs. But once you are established in that Satchidananda, which is giving you that bliss already, Now dare not any thought come and disturb you. See, from my own experience, I can tell you, earlier weekend means you are already during the week you have started planning where to go this weekend. Sometimes it so happens that Monday, Tuesday itself the plan is done where to go. And now what is all about in today's generation, if you see, morning, they say Monday to Friday, we have earned so much, with so much of pain, now we want to blow it up. Meaning we want to spend, we want to enjoy. Okay, this is the common thing which is there, So that way, your thought is always about getting how to reach out to these pleasures of your senses. So now here is a point where now personally we are saying 31st or 1st or any other day, Sunday or any other day, does not make any difference. I myself am so amazed to see this, because the mind is contented with where it is. It does not want to do any extravagant activity, which earlier it was, because it is already filled with that bliss and joy. So this is a state which initially you may feel, but as you get established in that, it will give you that feeling, I don't need to do anything, I don't need to go anywhere, I don't need to fetch anything. So that is the state which we all have to move towards, and it is possible, provided you keep your mind on that reality which is there constantly. Pray to God again and again. Don't pray, I want this to happen, I want my daughter to get married, I want my son to get a job, I want my son to get grandchildren. What is this? Tell the Lord that I want to be established in your thought again and again and again. If I'm going somewhere, please bless me so that I come back to you. And once you are established, this is Sukhena Eva. This is where you should be established, not in anything else. This is what he talks about in terms of this asana. This is the asana. This is the right asana for you. So no matter whatever you are doing, you're walking, you're talking, you're eating, you're seeing something, or you're doing puja, you're in an office working, or you're jogging, whatever it is, be established in that Brahman. That is the true Sukha asana, not your posture of the body. That means you are in true Sukha when your mind is established in that Brahman. So now we have understood, whatever point he says, finally it draws you to that point, that Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. Okay. Now we come to 113. Let's try to complete 113, otherwise we'll take the rest. Now this is again about the asanam only. Now he goes one level higher about this Siddhasana. Okay. Because 114 is Mula Bandha, next one. So before that, 113 is again about the asana. Asana, here he comes to another level which is known as Siddham. Go to that extent in that state, how you should reach that state of Siddham. That is the highest state of being established in Brahman. A very interesting aspect, we'll learn this. Siddham yat sarva bhutadi Vishwadishtanam avyayam Yasmin siddhah samavishtaha Tatvaiva siddhasanam viduhu. Viduhu means know. That which is famously known as the beginning of all beings, inverted comma, that which is the immutable substratum for the entire world of happenings, again inverted commas, that in which the men of realization, which are the siddhas, stay merged, again inverted commas, that is to be understood as siddhasana. An elevated level of the siddhasana. What is your thought process? Your thought process is about being established in that siddhasana. So now what we understood, sthiram sukham asanam. Okay, all that is fine. You are continuously and effortlessly being able to meditate upon that highest reality, Brahma, that chintanam. Okay, that is the asanam what we got. There also what we learned, that you are so much immersed in that thought of that Brahman, where no other thoughts are coming in. So what is that state of siddha, what we are talking about over here? Now, nitya siddha, always established in that. Okay? Now, this is what we need to see. What is that before that siddha? So there are 4 categories in the human race. 4 categories. And the highest is that siddha. Now let's evaluate ourselves and see where we are. Okay. The first one, as you all know, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The first category is where a category of people who are only interested in making money, artha, and blowing up that money, which is for their kama, desires, sensual desires. Just like I was telling you, like say in Bombay. Now in our area, what we have, so many call centers and software companies, and we also have bankers. Now that's a highly time oriented, energy oriented, and in a way you can say it drains you out completely. So now these youngsters, what we see from Monday to Friday, they say we earn good. And what after having earned money, we have to take care of our body also. In what way you are taking care of your body? You go to the nightclubs. One club after the other, one club after the other. Now why? You want that sensual. You say that is relaxation for them. Now right behind our house we have one. It is known as the rude lounge. The very word is rude lounge, and till 2:33 in the morning they are bombarding with music. I tell you, it's luckily before I get up by 4 o'clock or so, it's all over. Otherwise, till then they are bombarding with music. Now who is there? These youngsters who only want that, okay, artha, I want to earn money, and from that I get kama, which is there, all my desires are there. I want to take care of those desires. Now this is a tamasic mind, sense pleasure. They don't have that meaning, I worked so hard, I should take good rest. Then next day morning I go and I physically challenge myself, do some exercises and upkeep my health. And about that money which I have hard earned money, if I invest it in the right way. So when I am young, at the age of 25, and so if I invest money over a period of 30-35 years, to what extent the money can grow? No, these thoughts are not there. They are only focused on artha and kama. This is the first category known as pamara. Why? Their goal, sadhya. Now we have 2, sadhya and siddha. What is the goal over here for this human? Pamara, artha and kama. That's it. Now there is a slightly next better version of this. Now what does that better version means? He says, I want pleasure and I also want success in life, but I want to do it in a decent manner, where I am within that moral constraints. something where I should not harm others. Just like these, if all these youngsters who come to this lounge, if they don't come, then where will that lounge work? They're not bothered when they're dancing till 3, 4 in the morning with such loud music. Don't they have the sense to see along so many inhabitants over here who have paid a huge price and they are sleeping over here? They don't have that sense because there is no decency in terms of this environment, what we so call. But this is a category where they say we don't want to create harm to others. We want to support the society. We want to help people. And that is their sadhya, that goal. Okay, what they have. So now here comes dharma, artha and kama. Meaning with dharma they earn money and with dharma they spend money for their desires. Not that they are completely off this, but they are a better version. Now this is known as a Vishayi, this category. Okay. Now comes the third category. After all this, okay, I'm still towards the sense pleasures. I want to go out and eat. I want to go and see these movies. I still want to go on long holidays, relax, enjoy. All the time chatting, talking, where there is no meaning to anything. That's all, just sense pleasure. You're feeling good about yourself. Now the third category comes where he says, I think there is some meaning to this life. Where did I come from? Why did I come here? And where am I going? So those 3 basic questions which we asked, So he says there is some supernatural power with whatever we have understood with science. We understand that there is some supernatural power. What is that? What is this monk? Why is he doing this? What is this enlightenment, real self-realization? So his sadhya means that goal to be achieved, it becomes of a higher nature. And he says, now I don't want all this. I want to be in that, I want to attain that self-realization, that moksha. Sadhya is what? I'm going somewhere with some principles in life. Now here the third category, his sadhya, the goal is where I want to reach the ultimate reality, and they are known as the spiritual seekers, which are the sadhaks. Sadhaks and sadhikas, yeah? Where we have that in our mind. Enough, whatever we have done is enough. Now I think we need to move towards that higher self. So this is the third state. Now there is one more state, which is the sadhaka, who has become now established in that reality where he wanted to go, and is known as a siddha. So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya is talking of that siddha. From that state earlier where you were in a position to sukhenaiva sthira, you were able to comfortably be in that thought of that Brahman. Now he says you are there constantly. So here the siddhasana, what he is using, siddha, means the person who is already established, who is not seeking anything, who is neither seeking pleasure, nor is seeking wealth, nor is seeking dharma, nor is talking of any ethics, morality, of any other compassion. No. He is just contented with where he is. Just like Bhagavan Shankaracharya. In his Atma Shatakam, he says, Na dharmo, na charto, na kamo, na mokshaha, chidananda rupaha, shivoham, shivoham. Na dharma, he doesn't want any, he is not looking at dharma. Na kama, na dharmo, na charto, no artha, no kama, no moksha. He is already established. Because that last one, what are you? Chidananda rupa shivoham, shivoham. He is in that last state already there. So why will he look at all these others which were the steps to go there? So you have to see how much in you is the world pulling you, how much is artha pulling you, how much is kama pulling you. Of course, we have dharma. We are all sadhaks. That's the reason we are here. You must have seen, you tell anybody to listen to this 1.5 hour, 5-10 minutes, they'll say, no, I don't have time, I'll listen to it some other time. That's all they will say. They'll say, I don't want to listen. They won't say, now I don't have time, but I'll listen to it later. But those who are staunch sadhaks, they will say, I'm going to listen to it again. I'm not getting it. Again, I will listen to it till I get it. And I'm going to practice it. And when you see you are moving towards the Siddha, where you are not keen to gain money or fame, recognition, you don't want to lose anything, you don't want to gain anything. You are established in that state of that Parabrahman. That is that Siddha, what Bhagavan Shankaracharya is talking. He's giving a target. He's saying from the Sukhaya Neva Asana, being established comfortably in that thought of that Brahman, move towards becoming a Siddha. So by now, we have got to understand what Bhagavan Shankaracharya is telling us again and again, is bringing us back to that Brahman. And when we are meditating, we should not look at, is my posture correct or not? That's not what we have to look at. Is, am I established in that reality? Am I able to say with that confidence, Aham Brahmasmi? Aham Brahmasmi. Who is saying this? That Parabrahman, using this body-mind conglomerate, that unmanifest has manifested in this body-mind conglomerate, and he is saying this, you are not there. That is what we need to get. Okay. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namah. Om Tat Sat. So today we are going to Jeeva. Now we are coming to the next shloka, 55. Jeevo vinita sakshi mukundo mita vikramaha ambho nidirnantatma mahodadishayontakaha. Jeeva 513. One who remains as the limited ego, who in its sense of separatedness comes to experience the endless joys and sorrows in the fields of life. One who functions as the experiencer of the field, that is the Kshetragna, as described in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, second verse. Kshetragnam chapi mam viddhim sarva kshetreshu bharata. So as far as we have confined ourselves to this personality as a body, with that limited ego and all limited aspects of, I have this much intelligence, I have this much of money, I have this much of strength, I have this much of stamina, I am this much. You are limited yourself. You are in that state of Jeeva. So now how does Lord get this name Jeeva? He says, you are none other than me again. Only thing is, you have not understood. I have become you as Jeeva. And one fine day, when I want to get released from this body-mind or this Jeeva Bhava, I will give you that knowledge, enrich you and release you from this. So this is what this particular Nama Japa is talking about. Now let's chant Dhanvantari mantra 3 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. We all pray to Lord Dhanvantari to give us the adequate health to understand and realize ourselves. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Now we do this Sakshi Bhava meditation for a few minutes. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale, hold for a few seconds and slowly exhale. Now we are going to the state of Sakshi Bhava. Become a witness of the breath in the body. Just like you're seeing somebody else. First observe your body. Whatever you're able to see is not you. Just like the tree is not you, the building is not you, the car is not you, the dog is not you, the person next to you is not you. In the same way, this body is not you. Now look at the prana which is clearly visible to you in terms of your understanding. although it is subtle in nature. You can feel that breath going in and out. Know that it is not you. Now move one level deeper. Start observing your mind. Start observing the thoughts in your mind. Without judging the thoughts, allow the thoughts to pass away. See the thoughts slowly drifting away when you're not paying any attention. Anything which comes to your mind, say neti neti, not this, not this. I am not this, I am not this. Accept nothing, reject nothing. You're tuning your mind to grasp the cosmic frequency. Keep tuning. By staying in the thought that you accept nothing, you reject nothing, you are tuning in. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, together we offer today's Jnana Yajna at your lotus feet to seek your grace, mercy and blessings. Naham karta, Haripreranaaya Hariprityartham Shri Krishnarpanamastu Idam Namama Om Tat Sat. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. Once again, good evening to all of you. So very clear concepts. What needs is only to practice. So put your best to practice. Know that the divine help is always there, and it will help only when you call for it. So having that faith, confidence, curiosity, yearning, we will all get it, but just we have to be at it. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
सर्वसाक्षि स्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रज्ञानघन एवाहम् विज्ञानघन एव च अकर्ताहम् अभोक्ताहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः निराधारस्वरूपोऽहम् सर्वाधारोऽहमेव च आप्तकामस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तापत्रयविनिर्मुक्तः देहत्रयविलक्षणः अवस्थात्रयसाक्ष्यस्मि अहमेवाहमव्ययः दृग्दृश्यौ द्वौ पदार्थौ स्तः परस्परविलक्षणौ दृग्ब्रह्मदृश्यं मायेति सर्ववेदान्तडिण्डिमः अहं साक्षीति यो विद्यात् विविच्यैवं पुनः पुनः स एव मुक्तः स विद्वान् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्छास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम् ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिः